Oh, how's everyone doing today? Today is van life update number 84. Hope everyone's doing okay today. We're going to talk about burnout today. That's my topic. My update today is about burnout. Some of you may be experiencing burnout. I know I sometimes get into the old burnout stage where I feel like I'm just so wore out, I don't want to do anything. You know, it's like sometimes we feel like we just need a break. Well, I'm going to talk about avoiding burnout today by having a system in place. And the main thrust of my whole idea here is that burnout is caused by guilt. That's what I think. Because I beat myself up all the time because I don't feel like I'm getting enough done. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing much. I look at my to-do list and half of it I just ignore, and then I start feeling guilty about it, and it sort of builds up over time, and all of a sudden I'm in this idea that I'm feeling this guilt, and I start feeling burned out, like I just need a break. Well, that's what I want to talk about today is burnout. We need to have a system in place. So each day we'll have a place to start. We'll have a foundation to go to lean on, an anchor, so to speak. It's not a to-do list. I'm not talking about having a to-do list, because a to-do list feeds into this idea of guilt. You start feeling guilty because you don't accomplish everything on your to-do list. I don't like lists in general because things change. I like to be more flexible during my work day, and I try to avoid guilt at all costs. It's not a to-do list. It's more of a guide. I like having guides rather than to-do lists. This is sort of a general guide to what we can get done today, but if you don't get everything done, then that's okay. You know, some van lifers, especially those who have YouTube channels, feel burned out all the time. It's common. It's a common illness. YouTubers, for some reason, suffer burnout more than probably anyone else that I can think of. And it's because YouTube, creating content on not only YouTube, but on Instagram, if you're doing a Patreon account, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook, you've got all these social media platforms that you're trying to create content for, and it sort of stacks. It becomes much more stressful, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of stress. So a lot of van lifers really feel stress, not only from being on the road and dealing with all of the problems that van lifers run into on a daily basis, but if they're creating content on YouTube, they also have a lot of work to do in terms of editing videos and creating content, and it becomes very stressful. It's a burnout waiting to happen. So how do we avoid burnout? I mean, do you feel stressed right now? Do you feel like you're fixing to explode? Do you feel like you need to get back to that to-do list and get something accomplished? I was watching yesterday a van lifer named Sarah Foss, a local Austinite based here in Texas. She travels a lot in her van and has done a great job in building a great YouTube channel. I was watching a video of hers that was filmed a few months ago, and at the end of the video, she told the audience, she told her viewers that the following week she was not going to post a long-form video because she was burned out.
We're back. And before you go, I do have a quick update for everybody who's, kind of been here and following along with everything. I will not have a long form video next week, unfortunately, for two reasons. One is that if you've been here, you know I have a suspension issue right now. My van is really heavy and I have some things that are breaking and just not doing well on the van. And the second reason is that I am burning myself out quite a bit right now. And don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely loving doing this. Like, I don't want to do anything else, but I am in the startup phase. I'm about 9 or 10 months into a brand new YouTube and a brand new Instagram, and it's just a lot to keep up with right now. And I'm recognizing that I need to take a breather.
She was stressed out. She had too much going on. She had too many other things she needed to get done, and she was tired. She had only been on the channel maybe a year, a little less than a year, and she was already beginning to feel burned out. She was also posting on Instagram, and so I'm sure she had a lot of things on her plate. Well, it's common. She's not alone. It's common among YouTubers, among a lot of content creators. Well, here are some ways that I'm trying to avoid burnout. Some of the things that I try to do personally, this is my approach to try to avoid the stress and the feeling of guilt and the feeling of I'm just so tired I can't move on. You know how you feel when you're burned out? Well, first of all, I keep a routine. I try to do the same things every day. I start off with writing in my journal, 15 to 20 minutes. I have a personal journal that I've been writing in for years, and I do that every morning. I follow that up with about a half an hour to an hour of just reading, just pure entertainment, just selfish reading, whatever book I want to read. And I've been reading a lot of Civil War history, and that's what I've been getting into, and I read about 30 minutes to an hour. I also like to check in with the news. I check the news headlines. I don't try to get too far into the weeds and go too deep into it. I just want to know kind of what's going on. I have found that in the past, if I go too far into the checking of the news, it just wastes a lot of my time. So I try to avoid going too far into the news. I just try to get a brief view of the headlines so that I get an idea of I know what's going on in the world. When it comes to the meat and bones of my day, what I rely on are a series of spreadsheets, and I'll share some of those with you. I have what I'm calling a post tracker that I put together to track my contacts on social media. The idea here is to increase as much as possible my content creation on various platforms, and I want to keep track of everything that I do. Whenever I post something on Facebook or on TikTok or on Instagram, or I write an article for my Patreon page, or I post videos on my YouTube channel, I want to keep track of all that. I use that posting tracker every day. Every time I post something on social media, I will track it. Then I have what's called a weekly checklist, and I put this together with the help from ChatGPT in terms of tracking everything that I need to do in terms of Van Life America, the project that I'm running, transitioning into van life, the whole idea of moving ahead forward to purchasing a van. There are things that I need to do in terms of my content creation on social media. So I try to bring all of those various things that I'm doing together and put that under a weekly checklist. And you can see here are the various things that I try to do. So that's my weekly checklist. And then finally here, I've got what I call my van life daily update topic ideas. Because when you start posting daily on YouTube, you think, well, what am I going to talk about each day? Lord have mercy. You know, you try to bring value to the viewer. You want to, I want to help you guys. It's not all about me. I want to try to bring some value to the viewer. And so the topic needs to be sort of aimed at trying to help you as well as help me. And you try to do that each day, and you think, well, what am I going to talk about each day? Lord have mercy. Most YouTubers are doing good to post once a week. And here I am committed to posting 500 daily updates in a row. And I'm on daily 84 right now, number 84. So, hey, I'm on my way. But I use this Van Life Daily Update topic idea chart here to use if I am really struggling and I don't really have anything to talk about. I can go here, and you'll notice here in the first column I've got the days lined out, and I've got 31 days under that column, one for each day, one row for each day. And then the theme rotates. There's a number of themes here, 7 or 8 themes that rotate throughout the month. And then under the next column, you'll see an example of a prompt of dealing with that theme. And so basically, all I do is let's see, like today is the 25th, right? Or 26th. I guess today's the 26th. No, today's the 25th. I look on the 25th row down here, and then I look across number 25 and look at that prompt for that day and the theme, and it sort of gives me an idea of something to talk about. It's only if I get desperate. It's the last resort. If I don't have something to talk about that day, then I will go to this chart and it will give me an idea. At least I'll have something that I can talk about. And it totally has relieved the stress of me, oh my God, what am I going to talk about today? It's totally relieved that stress, because I know I can come here at any time on any day and come up with some idea, come up with something. So that's what I mean by having systems in place. I like to have spreadsheets, and I like to have guides. I don't want a to-do list, and I don't want to feel guilty about checking things off. I'd rather have sort of a general idea of what I want to get done that day. I also check my sales each day on Amazon, my book sales. I've got over 50 books for sale on Amazon that I have self-published, and I check those sales each day. I also work on my van life project, of course, each day. And I am currently writing a book for us van lifers on how to find sustainable income to help us pay for our adventures. How can we find jobs? How can we find work? What can we do budgetarily? What can we do in terms of our expenses and our budgets to help us fund our van life adventures? So I'm putting together a book. I'm writing a book, and we'll have a workbook to go along with it that I will publish and make available to you, as well as I'll publish it on Amazon. So I'm writing that book as well. And of course, I do these daily updates. I try to do these daily updates around noon each day. Like right now, it's 12:28 here in the Austin area, and I usually do these daily updates around noon, and then it takes me 2 or 3 hours to do the editing and get it posted. So I'm usually posted up and running. I usually have my daily update up around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on how much time and how much effort I want to put into the editing. I wish I could, if you're not doing daily updates, if I'm doing it once a week, then I could spend maybe a day or two on the editing alone. I could spend 8, 10, 12 hours just on the editing and do a lot of the special effects and put in a lot of great musical cues and do all the fancy stuff. But when you're doing it on a daily basis, you have to kind of go by the seat of your pants. And I find that the quicker I am getting with my editing, the more things that I can do within that 2 or 3 hour time frame in the afternoons as I do my editing. So that's my basic routine through the day. That's what I try to get done each day. But hey, if I don't get everything done, that's okay. I don't feel guilty. The only thing I would feel guilty about is if I don't do my daily update, because I've made a commitment to at least come online and share with you each day on my YouTube channel and do these daily updates. That's the priority. The worst thing you can do is not have a plan at all. That's where the burnout comes. The burnout comes because there's not enough systems in place. There's too much stress building up because you don't know what to do. You've got too much to do on your list, and things are piling up, and you're not getting anything done, and you're feeling guilty, and the guilt makes it even worse, and then before you know it, you want to explode. So I try to avoid the guilt. I've spent a life beating myself up by not accomplishing very much within a certain time frame or a certain day. I start comparing myself to other people, and I start beating myself up and feeling bad. And negative talk gets you nowhere. Negative self-talk is destructive. So just don't do it. So I try to avoid guilt as much as I can. I'm too old. I'm not going to do it. I am not going to feel guilty. I'm going to live my day, do the best I can, and be happy with the results. Well, that's it for today. That's my van life update. It's number 84. It's March the 25th. Nice day here in the Austin area. Hope you're having a good day. Get in the comments. Let me know what's going on. Let's talk about it. Let me know what you're doing. Maybe we can meet up somewhere later on in the year. Once I get my van and I hit the road, then watch out, because I'll be coming to all of those meetups and all of those conferences and all of those great events that van lifers go to, and we'll be traveling all across America creating content. That's my dream, that's my goal, and I'm sticking to it. Go out and have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.